Well, hello and happy Halloween, and welcome to my second whiskey review video. As it's Halloween, I thought I would film with my costume on, which you might not be able to see. It's supposed to be autumn. If you do want to see the full costume, you can go to my Instagram page, which is at Malt_. The full costume's on there. So I'm just going to introduce my next whiskey review, which is a really exceptional release from Bruichladdich Distillery. So just here, this is the Laddie Valinch. It's one of the Valinch series. So if you have ever been to Bruichladdich Distillery, more often than not in the shop they have a specific cask which is a fill your own, and each cask tends to commemorate a member of staff as part of this Laddie crew range. So they started at number 1 with Alan Logan, the distillery manager. The one that I have just here is number 18, which features David Hope Jr., who is a retail administrator at Bruichladdich. So with Bruichladdich, they tend to market themselves as one of the more sort of experimental distilleries. They call themselves Progressive Hebridean Distillery. So what they're meaning by that is they do tend to do unusual maturations, for example, a Sauternes finish, Barolo finish, things like that, and this is no exception. So it's a beautiful whiskey at 24 years old, 18 years in a bourbon cask, and then finished for 6 years in French oak from Chateau Latour. So it's finished in red wine. So you can see it has got a lovely colour to it there. Really nice and dark. I should also mention that I was lucky enough to get this bottle signed by David, so I don't know if you can just see it there. And another sort of fun fact is that his father actually featured on one of the Laddie crew Valinches as well. I think it's number 14. Also David Hope. So it's quite nice, both father and son in the Valinch series. So going to just pour a little dram. So again, I've got my Copita glass. This time it's a branded one. So as I mentioned just there in the bottle, you can see it's lovely and dark, and even in the glass it is a stunning whiskey. It's really lovely to look at. So I've mentioned it's 24 years old, and as you can imagine, being in the cask for that length of time, it has lost quite a bit of alcohol over the years, so it's only at 46.9%. So that's not too strong for a cask strength. So we'll give a little bit of a nose. So I'm finding that quite spicy. There's a sort of a definite dry fruit aspect. So I think in particular raisins, almost like Christmas cake. It's that kind of vibe is what I'm getting from it. It's a lovely aroma, to be honest. It really is a lovely whiskey. I should have mentioned before, I actually used it for a tasting earlier on in this year for the Fèis Isle Festival on Islay. So we used it in May. We did it as part of a pairing with Scottish cheese. It was paired with a lovely goat's cheese called the Ayrshire Bonnet. And it just went down so well. It was so popular. It's just a lovely whiskey. But we'll have a little taste. The first thing I'm really noticing is just how smooth it is. It really is exceptional. It's very rich, very sumptuous. You are getting that definite Christmas note to the Christmas cake. But also a sort of flavour of nuts, roasted nuts, toasted nuts, and a little bit of woodiness as well. As it dies away, it's still lingering. You can feel almost an earthiness growing, and then as that dies away, little bit of sweetness comes through. So very subtle, maybe sort of vanilla, maybe the dried fruits, it sort of changes to slightly more fresher fruits just at the very end. I wouldn't say it's a terribly sweet dram until the very, very end. For me, it's what I would call an occasion dram. Not something you maybe want every day as such, but perfect for that festive season that we're just coming into, the Christmas evenings. It's just lovely. I'm going to add a little bit of water. Personally, I don't think it does need it, but I'm going to add just a little water to see what changes are made. So that's me added a little bit of water. On the nose now, I would say you're getting less of the spiciness. It's definitely a little bit sweeter. Maybe that tiny bit of fresh fruit that we had, that's what's kind of coming out. I would almost describe it as sort of like pear. Now, definite more sweetness. Faint sort of spiciness. Faint Christmas cake, but it's now that fresher fruit kind of flavour that's coming through. Not quite as much of the sort of nutty, woody flavours. Certainly adding water hasn't done it any harm, but personally I don't think it needed it. Overall, it is a beautifully smooth dram. The flavour is exceptional. And 24 years old, it really is stunning. So I didn't give my last review a score just simply because it was the first one. I'm going to give this one a score. I'm going to give it 90 out of 100. I know other websites use points in terms of 90 point something. I'm just going to keep it simple and give it 90 out of 100. I think it's an excellent whisky. So well done to Bruichladdich for this exceptional release. And congratulations to David. Hope you're on the face of a lovely bottle. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you have a really happy Halloween, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks' time for our next review. Thank you. Bye-bye.